Just a few minutes left. I saw a bunch of photos on social media yesterday. People getting out and enjoying their Father's Day out in the woods, things like that. People often will overestimate their own abilities when they get out into the woods like that. They'll be out for too long. They'll have maybe like an 8-ounce water bottle thinking that's good enough for the whole day. Something tragic happens. Tell me and tell the listeners quickly about search and rescue. Vol volunteer. How does it work?
Our teams volunteer, but we have to call out our coordinators. And so remember, again, we're pulling people off the street. We always hear about the overtime complaints, but when that happens, we don't have a choice. We've got to have somebody out there. So that's another one of those areas when you hear about the overtime in the sheriff's office, we can't predict who's getting lost.
Right.
And this time of year, the volume of people that come through Mason County, all up and down the Olympic Peninsula, the Olympic National Forest is one of the most visited national parks in the country. And so you have thousands of people coming through here. But even just locally, if people, especially that people aren't used to being around the woods where you can't see very far things, sometimes it's interesting. I should say, might be the word. Every one of these circumstances are different. You know, you always think they kind of sound the same. I've been to those where people have gotten off the roadway, you know, on a logging road, and really not gotten that far back in the woods, got turned around a little bit, and either walked the wrong way, continued to walk further into the woods when they thought they were walking out, or I've seen them just like maybe 50 yards shy of the road, but with the foliage you have around here, you don't. There's a road right there.
Yeah.
They're almost back to where they were at, and then they turn the other way and start again. So knowing where you're at, taking the right provisions with you. I always go through the same thing you did when you were a kid, when you were going somewhere. You know, where are you going? Who are you going to be with? What time are you going to be back? You know, just a general location of where you're going to be so we have a starting point. If you just say I'm going to the Olympic National Park, that's a pretty big area.
Yeah, huge.
So letting somebody know, you know, where you're going, about how long you're going to be gone, who you're going to be with, some contact information, and then, like you said, carrying some of the right provisions. Around here, obviously, I mean, I'm not hoping this doesn't happen, but you can go from sunshine to rain in a heartbeat around here, and it can rain for days. And if you're not prepared for the dampness and you don't have the right provisions to be out there, it goes bad fast.
This just popped into my head. You're parked at a trailhead, getting ready to head out. Do you put any information on your car? You put a note on your car saying, I am this person, I left at this time.
Interesting.
That's a tough one, because if you say it's like, I'll go outside another example like that. A community, housing development, started notifying the public when people were snowbirds and going to be gone. And they would put tags on their mailboxes in front of their house. I will be gone from now to now. What does that tell somebody?
That the house is
Nobody's home. Come
and
on in.
They were angry with us because they kept having burglaries.
Yeah.
Well, I wandered through there and I wondered what all these little tags were, and I started looking at them, and here's the date I'm gone, here's the date I'm returning. That
Not
probably,
smart.
No. You know, would catch on fast to that idea. There are some places where you notify where you've been with the Forest Service, and you can check in and check out of offices and things with national parks. It's not a bad idea, but letting somebody else know where you're going to be. If I'm going to go to leave out of the staircase area, you might tell your family members, I'm going to be leaving out of the staircase area. I'm going to be parking in that area,
right,
and I should be back here. We just did a fairly large search a year ago for an individual that was going to school here but was from out of the area, got up in the high country up there and got lost, but the snow conditions were not maybe what they were expecting. And if you ever get a chance to fly over the Olympic National Park, the Olympic Mountains, you know, the terrain up there's rough. I mean, it's steep.
Yeah.
And you can get in there and you think you're into an area, but you're kind of like, for lack of a better term, you're into a valley or box canyon. You just walked into something you've got to go up to get out of. Or you go over the top of something, you think I'm home free, and all you're going to do is go back down to the bottom of another one. You should have an idea where you're going. And our folks on the search and rescue team, you know, they train and practice for that, and they map that out before they leave. But we have quite a few people from out of the area that visit, you know, because it's a nice place to visit, but we'll leave one of our hiking sites for a day hike, and then they either get off the trail or they don't have the necessary equipment with them, or they go up higher than they thought and there's snow. I mean, there's just every one of those situations is different, but being mindful of the proper things to carry, notification of where you're at, communication devices. I really like these beacons that people carry now,
Sure, yeah.
but a lot of people don't carry them. So that they click that beacon on and you can get a locate on. That is very helpful.
Oh, wow. That would be good.